Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have been looking at why karma and what? Jnanam are totally opposed to one another. Like oil and water, they cannot, do not, will not, shall not, should not mix. Absolutely no connection. So, extrapolating from this, we see that the Karma Kanda and the Jnana Kanda also have very little, if anything, in common. One is KG, as in kindergarten. The other one is PhD. What do KG and PhD common? Without going to KG, you can't go to PhD. That's the only about thing they have in common. And that we see that the subject matter is completely different. We saw how the subject matter in the Karma Kanda is what? Is based on getting things that I want. It's a treatise in wish fulfillment, the Karma Kanda. And then the Jnana Kanda is getting rid of the things that I want, that I think I want. The subject matter is very different. And the people to which the Jnana Kanda beckons, and the people to which the Karma Kanda calls, are completely different people as well. Who are the people the Karma Kanda calls? Those who want things. Give me, give me, give me. How come I don't have this thing and they have it? No, see, it's like two things. I don't have it, but they got it. How is that possible? I want what they got. This is the people. And I want this and I want that. Then after I got this and that, then it is very difficult to take care of this and that. Please give me some more of these things to be able to have. Karma Kanda people want to fulfill their sense of insecurity by gathering and having. And the Jnana Kanda takers, the takers of the Jnana Kanda, want to address their insecurity by getting rid of things, by knowledge, by knowing, rather than gathering. The audience for the Karma Kanda, the takers for the Karma Kanda, the people who are attracted to Karma Kanda, believe the insecurity to be real and try to patch it up, whereas the students of the Jnana Kanda question the very insecurity itself. How is this insecurity a superimposition, as it were, on the I? Why should I feel insecure? They do vichara. So the subject matter is very different. The audience is very different. And then the prayojana, the results are also very different. The results of Karma Kanda in the form of yajnas, pujas, spells, incantations, mantras, being karma, how long will they last? Very short. They are time bound. The results of Karma Kanda, the results of being in Karma Kanda, time bound. The results of following Jnana Kanda, timeless. because it reveals the truth of the I as Brahmatma, as Brahman itself. And in so doing, what does it do? It takes away that sense of insecurity without adding anything on. Whereas there, the prayojana is time bound. How much ever one does only for a short time, which then keep on doing it again and again and again. This is the three differences. Vishaya, subject matter. Adhikari, audience. Prayojana, which is the purpose of the Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. And then finally, Sambandha. The Sambandha between the text, which is the sacred text. What is the sacred text? Veda. And the phala, what in the prayojana, the purpose, the phala, the result. What is the connection in the first karma kanda? In the karma kanda, the connection between the revelatory text, the scriptures which ask you to do this and that, and the prayojana is that of doing. Because it's not enough to just read about it. We saw this in the previous class. The Karma Kanda is like a recipe book. You can't just read the recipe book and then say, okay, tushtoham, I'm satisfied. You can't say. You have to actually do what it tells you to do. And then in the Jnana Kanda, it is only Pratipadya, Pratipadaka Sambandha. Revealer, revealed, that's all. And the revealed being the Atma, which happens to be the content, the truth of I, and non-separate from the revealer. It's all one. So being for completely different audiences, having completely different subject matters, and having completely different connections between the upaya, the parihara, the sacred text, and then the person deploying these measures. And finally, the phala, the prayojana, the result also being drastically different, we are definitely entitled to call it a separate treatise. So we are completely in line when we say Veda and Vedanta. Yeah, completely different. They are part of the same book, but it's for a different audience. The Karma Kanda, the major portion of the Vedas, is for these grown-up babies in their playpens, wanting a little distraction, to be kept occupied with something to do. The Jnana Kanda is for people who are ready to come out of the playpen and not be worried about insecurity. So therefore, karma and jnanam are like navagrahas sitting in the temple. If you install a navagraha temple, you have to make sure that none of them face each other. That is the only rule, really. The primary rule is that they must not know, nobody must look at each other. Because havoc ensues if they look at each other, even in one's own horoscope. Yeah, if they look at each other, oh no. So therefore, this being the idea in verses 12 and 13, Adi Shankara, 12, 13, and wait, one more. Hold on. 12, 13, and 14. He takes up the difference between karma and jnanam and refutes this whole jnana karma samuchaya. Samuchaya means a combo of jnana and karma cannot take place. He refutes this argument from three very specific and very interesting standpoints. The first standpoint is that there is a virodha, contradiction between karma and jnanam. From what standpoint? Swarupataha. Swarupataha means by its nature itself. Its nature itself is different. Karma is different and jnanam is different. Second angle, standpoint of difference, which is elucidated in verse number 13, which we are going to see, is from the standpoint of hetu. Hetu means origin, karana. So from the standpoint of the nature of karma and the nature of knowledge, first difference. Second difference is from the standpoint of the origination of karma and jnanam. And third difference from the standpoint of phala, results of karma and the results of jnana. Let us read. Let us chant. Vidyaya pratikulam hi karma syat sabhimanatah निर्विकारात्म बुद्धिश्च विद्येतिह प्रकीर्तिता. Together. Vidyaya pratikulam hi karma syat swabhimanatah nirvikaratma buddhischa vidyetiha prakirtita. Pratikulam, against. Vidyayaha pratikulam means in opposition. In opposition of vidya is this karma. Vidya is jnanam. Pratikula, contradictory, and pratikula, many meanings. Contradictory, in opposition, is this vidya. Vidya, the karma is opposed to knowledge. Why? The answer is given here in the fifth case, tasil, sabhimanatah. Sabhimanatah. Abhimanena saha vartate. Sabhimanam. Sabhimanatah. Fifth case. Fifth case means tasil pratyaya, as good as fifth case. That is the hetu, that is the reason. So what is abhimanena saha vartate? Means the sense of I-ness is not gone. Where? In karma. In karma, what is it that is talked about? Who done this? Who did this? And immediately the hand will go up. Me. I. Only if it's something good. Supposing it's something nice. Oh, who did these decorations? Many hands will go up, even if they have not done. Me. Oh, this is a wretched thing. Who did this? Nobody. One is just looking around, not me. Suddenly one becomes akarta when it is something to be critiqued. You point the finger somewhere there. And so, karma kanda, or any kind of karma requires the abhimana. Abhimana here doesn't mean pride. Abhimana means identification with the karma. Identification with the karma is a hallmark of this. Hallmark of this karma kanda, hallmark of this whole section called karma portion of the Veda. Because I have to be involved, that I is intact, and the nature of this I, we are not bothered here about Satchidananda. What is the nature of this I? Karta. Aham karta. Who did this? Me. For whose sake did you do this? Mine. How did you do this? Through these help with from this people. So this I as the doer is very, very, very strong. I am the doer. And to me, the results of action have to accrue. That's why even a simple puja, you have to tell the priest your whole life history so that the priest you have appointed to, on your behalf, to tell your name. So first you tell your name. You say Robert. But then that's not enough. There are so many Roberts. Robert of this nakshatra, many Roberts of that nakshatra, Robert of this nakshatra, this Rashi, Gotra, at least we hope. At least the Gotra may not be the same if there are other people named Robert. So I want to make sure that Bhagavan knows me, knows my name, knows my family's name, knows my last name, and knows my kula, my family, my gotra, my lineage. I want to make sure that Bhagavan knows, because Bhagavan is a very busy Bhagavan, And the karma phala can go to another Robert. No wonder this other fellow is getting all the promotion, and I, despite doing all the puja, is sitting here. So this is called Sabhimanam, a total identification. I want to get the phala. I want to get I'm the doer of the karma. That's how in every sankalpa you put some yellow rice, only brown rice and red rice. Where did this yellow rice come from? It's called akshata. You dye it yellow with some turmeric, put it on the left hand, and on the right hand you seal the deed by saying Mamopat Samasta Duritakshayartham Aham Idam Pujam Yajnam, whatever it is, Karishye. I am about to do this. Me. So Aham idam karishye. I am doing this. The I is very much there. This is abhimanatah. Then what else is there? Aham idam karishye. Then of course people will ask, what for? For which purpose are you doing this? Mama upatta. My earned by me. Mama upatta durita. What did you earn? Lots of bad karma. Durita, papa. Durita kshayartham. So the purpose of this puja, I am doing the puja for whose sake? For my own sake. So that all my bad karma gets down a little bit. The bad karma quotient, the papa quotient comes down. I want that. Why? Because otherwise the other Robert will get a lottery ticket. Will win the lottery. So therefore, I want to make sure that Bhagavan knows it is me, and for the sake of my papa reduction, I am doing this karma. This is how many times, Mama, again that is me. Aham, all these comes. And so the karma keeps the I intact. In fact, it waters the ahankara and makes it stronger and stronger. And the ahankara dances. It loves karma kanda. It is very happy being in karma because I can still be intact and I can be in charge. Ahankara likes to be in control. I can be in charge, I can be in control, and then I can do this. So, this is vidyayaha pratikulam. Pratikulam means what? Completely opposite. Because Vidya, in Atma Vidya, what is there? The I itself is questioned. Who is this I? Oh, the one who did puja yesterday. Really? That's what you are. You are not the one who did puja yesterday. You do not attract either papa or punya. You are free of papa punya. You are nitya mukta, nitya shuddha, nitya buddha. You are atma. You see the whole completely different thing? Opposed. So what does Karma Kanda say? Aham karta. And what does Jnana Kanda say? Aham akarta. Can you do both at the same time? Without going crazy, okay? Not possible. Whole day aham karta, aham karta, aham karta, aham karta. Then you come to Vedanta class, aham akarta, aham akarta. It's crazy. That's why Vedanta doesn't stick, because life as usual is not questioned. People don't question. Giving sankalpa, mama, upahata, durita, kshayadwaram. Whereas the Kenopanishad clearly says, Nedam yadidam upasate, na idam brahma. This is not Brahman, that which you keep at the altar and worship. Because the worship always entails duality between the altar of worship and the worshipper. It's a duality. And that duality is celebrated. And that duality is needed in the beginning stages, just like a small baby, when it is learning to walk, needs to hold the hand of an elder or needs a baby walker. It has some wheels or something, and the baby is standing in the middle and learns to walk. But after the baby learns to walk, if you still give the adult, who is able to walk, some crutches, they will not like it. Why? Because they are able to walk. But here, what have we done with the Karma Kanda? Made it a permanent prop. Unabashedly. We rely on it. We rely on karma in order to live. We rely on karma in order to do anything. We rely on karma for any kind of fulfillment without interrogating the karta. So the karma always is pratikula, because second reason is because it is based on duality. The worshipper worshipped duality. Doer done in duality. Subject object duality. Knower known duality. Everywhere this duality is buttressed, nourished and kept up, kept open. Whereas in Jnana Kanda, what is there? There is nothing outside of oneself. That is the teaching. So here it is savikara, sabhimana. Sabhimana means the identification. And savikara also we should write down here, because it's going to be, in the verse they can only express little bit. So we have to say sabhimana and savikara. Savikara means vikaraihi saha vartate. That which exists along with numerous changes. Changes means what? It is full of changes. The life of karma is full of changes, because the karma is finite, karma phala is finite, and what I get I do not like. And because I do not like that, I instigate more karma. And then the loop of samsara that we saw in the previous verses goes on and on and on and on. Endless loop. So the karma is sabhimana, along with identification of myself as the karta, and savikara. Savikara means there is modification. I am different from the karma. I am different from the dravyas used in the karma. And then I am different from Ishvara, to whom the karma is dedicated or offered. Not really, but at least we make the motion. This is all for you. Tera tujhko arpan, like this. Tan man dhan sab kuch tera hai. This is the Jai Jagadish Hare song. It's the longest song, really. And it's a group song, Arati song. Just as you think it's finished, somebody else remembers one more verse. And again it starts. Then we think it is finished, and one more verse suddenly will come out from somewhere. If there are 10 people, there'll be 15 Shrutis. So, but Bhagavan takes it all, no problem. So then, this is the situation here. Savikara, Sabhimana, and based on Dvaita. All three things you can write down. Based on Dvaita. Savikara means full of changes. Changes means finitude. The karma changes. What I get as a result of karma changes. How I do the karma changes. How the result fructify changes. Karta change keeps changing. Sabhimana means I have the sense I am the doer. And what is there? Dvaita. And then, whereas Nirvikara Atma Buddhi. What is Jnanam? Nirvikara. The understanding that I am free of changes. Nirvikara. Karma, Savikara. And karma is preceded by and followed by the thought aham karta. Jnanam is followed by the thought aham brahma. Very different. Aham akarta. And karma is based on the identification with the body mind sense complex. I have to have this body, I have to have this mind. And then I want some band-aids. Please help me with this body. Make it oil, keep it oiled a little longer, oh Lord, so that it doesn't creak when I walk. And keep it well-oiled machine, this body-mind sense complex. So in the karma, what do? I pray for extension. In the jnana, I pray for extinction of the identification that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the senses. Completely different. Karma is savikara. There is a vikara, there are modifications, changes, and the Atma Buddhi. Atma Buddhi means the identification of myself as Brahmatma is what? Nirvikara. There in karma, you are not told you are Bhagavan. You are the servant of 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 Bhagavan. And you will remain the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, etc., of Bhagavan. Just because you do a lot of puja, you will not suddenly become one with Bhagavan. And of the people who have done puja and understood this somehow because they had gurus and they studied, like Saint Kabir, Saint Mirabai, etc., they were immediately thrown out of their communities. Bahishkara was done because people are karma freaks. They don't like anybody getting jnanam. They don't like anybody getting jnanam because it's a painful reminder that they don't have it and they don't think they are ready for it, and therefore they will not let you have it either. If I can't have it, you also cannot have it. Why should you have it if I can't have it? And so there are all these societal ways in which one is held back, held back, held back. One retreat, okay, yeah, fine. The person was stressed, okay, let them attend one retreat. If you go to the second one and the third one and the fourth one, oh, there'll be an intervention at home. So, this Jnana Kanda not very popular for these reasons, because it's frightening to think of myself as non-separate from Ishvara. And people say this as much. I don't like Advaita. Why? What's wrong with you? What is there to not like? I don't like Advaita because it says I am non-separate from Bhagavan. Why not? I want to taste the sugar. I don't want to be the sugar. This is, a very crazy argument. In the beginning, it looks very convincing. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sugar means what? What is the metaphor that one is using here? It's not even an apt metaphor. Sugar means maybe sweetness. If you want to taste the sugar, you become a bhikari. You keep begging for that sweetness to come your way. If you are sweetness itself, it is your nature. You understand that and enjoy that. People don't understand this. They constantly want that duality to be there. Because who else can I go and ask things if I quote unquote become Brahman? If I become Brahman, there is nobody to ask. And so therefore, I will keep a distance between myself and Brahman. So you see, the first verse establishes Swarupataha by nature. The karma and jnanam cannot mix at all. They are completely contradictory to one another. Then, nirvikara atma buddhi vidya iti iha prakirtita. Prakirtita means is well known. It is well known. What is well known? Vidya iti. So the Atma Buddhi, from the Dehatma Buddhi, I have gone to Nirvikaroham. Savikaraham na. Nirvikaroham. Nirvikaroham means I am changeless. I am a changeless Atma, changeless sentience is my nature. Nirvikaroham iti buddhi. Nirvikara Atma Buddhi. So nirvikara aham iti buddhi is what? That itself is knowledge. Nirvikara aham iti buddhi itself is knowledge. That itself is Atma Jnana. So this is iti prakirtita. Whereas karma is what? Vidyayaha pratikulam karma. Completely opposed to vidya. Why? Because it requires a separation between the karta and the karma phala accruing to the karta. If the karta is not kept going, who will the karma phala go to? Therefore, the karta has to be kept pumped up. And we cannot afford to lose the karta. In Vedanta, we cannot have even a discussion with the karta intact. First thing we do is lose the karta. And so the two are Swarupataha incompatible, who karma and jnanam. Next verse. Aham karta mamedam syat iti karma pravartate vastvadhina bhaved vidya कर्तृधीनो भवेद् विधिः अहं कर्ता ममेदं स्यात् इति कर्म प्रवर्तते वस्त्वधीना भवेद् विद्या कर्तृधीनो भवेद् विधिः अहं कर्ता means what? I am not the doer, right? No, opposite. I am the doer. Mama idam. Mama idam can mean anything. This is mine. What? These things for puja that I have brought is mine. You can't have them because it is my puja and it's in my name. Oh, can you add my name to no? Why not? You are not part of my family. Why should I add your name? You do your own puja. You do your own yajna. Unless, of course, the karma is very expensive. Some of these Chandi Homa and all very, very costly. They put a lot of offerings and you have to feed numerous people. Unending it is. At that time, people pitch in and do samuhika homa, collective homa. But these small, small pujas, I don't want your name in it. This is for me. Aham karta. I'm the one doing puja. Do you know how to do puja? No, but I gave it to the priest. And I gave my authorship to the priest. My agency, I handed over. There's a ritual way of doing it. You hand over the agency to the priest, and the priest becomes the yajamana on your behalf. And then the priest does the karma, but then you make sure to tell the priest the punya should not go to you. You did the karma for whom? For me, not for yourself. So the punya should come to me, my family, and my people, because we have paid for the puja, not you. So why have you paid for the puja? Because my horoscope has some problems. It is indeed a scope of horrors. And then, so for this parihara, I have to do this. For this one is looking at that one, and that one won't stop looking at this one. And so, this is why the next year is very bad because of all the transit planets. And so I was asked by my astrologer to do this puja. You cannot be part of it because these are my problems. Go away. It's a specific puja for me. Aham karta. I am the karta. The results accrue to who? To me. Mama idam sya. This kind of a bhavana is there in karma. Now the second verse is hetutaha virodha. The virodha from the standpoint of the origination of karma and jnanam. So what is the origination of karma? Is karta. The origination of course, the origin of karma is ajnanam. The origin of everything is ajnanam. But here specifically, karma attaches to who? Karta. Karma is karta dependent. So from the origin standpoint also, they are very different. Aham karta, that's when you can have karma. There is no karma lying around for free. It always attaches to karta. Aham karta, mama idam, my puja, my horoscope, my Saturn, my Jupiter, and my problems. All this has to be kept intact. So it is dependent on karta. Means what? The karma and the karta are connected. The origin of the karma is in the mind and the free will of the karta. Who says, I am sick of this life, I want a better life, and I'm going to use this puja to make my life better? This is how it is. And so, this aham karta means exactly this, that I, out of my own volition, I mean, no astrologer will tell you, you have to do this. They'll say, it will be nice if you did this. This is, according to the Shastra, this is the upaya for this particular condition. This is what one has to, one is recommended that one does. Usually it is giving something, doing some puja, propitiating some of the planets in the form of the deities, going to specific temples, on a pilgrimage, all these things will be recommended. Nobody, whether it's a sadhu or an astrologer or anybody, nobody says, you have to do it, otherwise I'll beat you with a stick. Nobody is forcing the person to do it. The person on their own goes to do this. Just like when I said, clap. Some people thought, should I clap now? Should I have clapped then? Is this a trick? Maybe I'll clap now. Oh, is she needing validation? So this is, so many thoughts may come, right? But they are all dependent on you. Each person has a volition. Some people clapped the first time, and some people who did not clap the first time definitely thought, okay, I should clap at least this time. And then some people said, oh, I know this is an experiment. I'm not going to clap at all. Or I'm going to clap differently. Look at them, they are all clapping just like regular people. My clap is going to have a rhythm. I'll clap like that because I want to stand out and be different. Karma is kartrutantram. The origin of karma, origin is not the correct word, but the connection of the karma is to the karta. Without karta, there cannot be karma. Who did this karma? Anonymous. Nobody will do that. There may be anonymous, like supposing sometimes, somebody gives bhiksha in the temple or in the ashram. They will say anonymous. But they know who they are. The ashram knows who they are, so it's not that they are really anonymous. Therefore, the, the problem here is that these people don't understand. No matter how much you explain, people don't understand what is kartrutantram. It takes a very, very long time to understand this. Without any recourse to Vedanta, it is very, very difficult to understand. Kartrutantram means it is dependent upon my free will. I choose to do, and I can choose to do. Why? Because it's in the realm of my hands and legs, my karmendriyas. That's why they are called karmendriyas. My organs of actions, it is dependent upon my will, and I decide how to deploy my organs of action in order to produce a result. Unfortunately, the action is in my hands, the result is in Bhagavan's hands. Alas. But does that stop me from trying? Even though I know I cannot produce the results, then I try in a different way. Then I supplicate myself and surrender to Bhagavan and say, you, in whose hands my karma phala lies, you, Ishvara, who is karma phala data, give this to me. I don't stop trying. I intercede on my behalf every step of the way to make sure that I avoid apriya and fill my life with priya. This is karma. What about jnanam? So, mama idam aham karta, we have to change. Aham akarta. Idam na mama. This is the jnanakand. Aham akarta. Akarta means I'm not the doer. How can I be the doer? I'm just as though doer. I am the Atma that is free from doing, and this doership is as though superimposed upon the I, which is free of doing. Totally free of doing it is. It is just superimposed as it were upon the I. It's like watching a video of yourself from some function or something. And there you are getting up, going, making some arrangements, all that is in the video, and you're just sitting and watching it. This is akarta. I'm not the karta. And then nothing is mine. This is the essence of the first part of the Sri Rudram. Everything is Bhagavan. You Ishvara is the whole universe. Everything is Bhagavan. Everything is you. Everything is you. Nothing is mine. Nothing is me. Do you see the contradiction here? Because in the first, aham karta is there, and then to the karta attaches the karma. And here in the jnana side, aham akarta, and so no karma is attached here. The question is why, and that why is explained very nicely in the second line of verse 13. Vastu adhina bhavet vidya. Vastu adhina. Adhina means dependent upon. Vastu, object. Object dependence is there for knowledge. And this we have already seen. Look at this wonderful crystal. Hmm? Here, can you say there is a choice? Do I have a choice? I can look upon this as pot, or I can look upon this as crystal, or I can look upon this as a pen. Do I have that choice? No. That kind of a talk brings in immediately a subjectivity, because we have to see how knowledge reveals itself. It reveals the object of knowledge, and the object of knowledge is as true as the knowledge of the object is as true as the object. The knowledge is centered on the object that it reveals, whereas action is centered on the actor. Knowledge has nothing to do with the actor. Even if I want this to be a crystal, it cannot oblige. Even Ishvara cannot be, even if Ishvara were to come here, Ishvara also could not oblige. Ishvara will say, I will fix your buddhi for free, but I can't make this into a crystal. So, this shows us a very, very important. Vastu tantram jnanam. Kartru tantram karma. Vastu tantram means it's the knowledge is as good as the object. The knowledge of the object is centered upon the object so that all of us see the same thing. It's not that some people see the crystal and other people see the pot. No. Although sometimes there are these kinds of, I don't know, people have a lot of time on their hands. They play these silly games on the internet. Somebody sent me one and I said, please don't do this to me. And two photos. Is the dress, yes, white or blue, correct. Is the dress white or blue? And it turned out to be neither white nor blue. Turned out to be something else. But anyhow, that, crazy. But there it's probably a kind of a photographic trick, or the light falling on the dress or whatever it was. But then, barring these kind, that's why that becomes a sensation. That's why such things go viral, because there it seems to be defying Vastu Tantram Jnanam, this particular rule. That's why these things get viral and famous. And so, Vastu Tantram Jnanam means that if I see it as blue, chances are that, what chances? 90% of the time, 99% of the time, everybody else also under the same kind of lighting and other situations being constant, they will also see it as blue. There is a shared agreement. That is the objectivity in the Vyavaharika Satta. But when that Vyavaharika Satta, when the empirical reality has an overlay of what? My own desires, my own attractions, my own aversions, then there is a problem. That's when the problem is. I see a person as out to get me, when the person is not at all out to get me. And I see the person as inherently bad when they are not bad at all. And then, when such a person who is having this idea is, what is that, made to take some therapy, then they are brought back to the objectivity. Sometimes the treatment is needed to be able to see the world and oneself and everybody else objectively. Vastu tantram jnanam. And to illustrate this, Swamiji would always, Puja Swamiji would tell the story of a man who thought he was a cat. And he walked on all fours And then what? Lapped up milk from a saucer, purred at the people he knew, hissed at the people he did not know. And his family was frustrated. What happened to you? What happened to you? Yeah, that's all he said. Then a famous doctor came to town. And the wife had tried everything. She was totally fed up. She was terribly fed up. And she said, okay, as a last resort, I'm taking this fellow and leaving him with this doctor. Left him with the doctor. And then what happened? Then the doctor said, you know, this is a serious case. This is a really serious case. You have to leave me alone with him for some time. And that was done. Then what happened? Then they came out of the doctor's room, and to everybody, to the family's surprise, the man was walking on two legs, no longer on four legs. And the wife said, oh, you've been in there a long time, honey. Would you like a saucer of milk? He says, no, I can drink from a glass. I don't, what is this? I'm not a cat. Doctor, you have done a miracle. What did you do? The doctor said, I just showed him a picture of the cat. And I said, you are not this. You are this. Look at the mirror. This is you. This cat. This man. Cat. Man. Cat. Man. I am not a cat. I'm a human being. Made him repeat it. And he was cured. Everything. And the wife couldn't believe her ears. The wife said, Doctor, promise me that there will not be a relapse. Generally, there's not a relapse. After all, I'm so famous. And but if there is a relapse, here is my cell number. Take it, take my card, call me any time of the day. They went home. Everything was all right for a few days. Then the wife calls, Doctor, what happened? Something is off. Is he drinking milk out of a saucer? No. Is he walking on all fours? No. Is he hissing at people who he does not like? No. Then what's the problem? He's not doing any other thing, but he refuses to go out. Oh, that's all. That's a small thing. Put him on the phone. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him. And as soon as the man was put on the phone, what does he say? Good evening, doctor. I'm a man. I'm not a cat. I'm a human being. Wonderful. Your wife tells me that you're doing very well. Yes, I'm doing great. But she's also concerned that you're not going out. Well, doctor, I know not a cat and I'm a human being. But do the dogs outside know that or not? That's why I'm not going out. This is the this is the situation. So in dire cases, some serious therapy is needed. But otherwise, vastu tantram jnanam. Kartrutantram karma. So the karma is based on free will. And that free will makes me do something. I'm free to do something. I'm free to say, no, I'm not going to do this. Certainly not for you. I can say that. Or I can say, let me think about it. I'll do it tomorrow. Right? Three options. Maybe there are even more options, we don't know. But these basic three options we can see. With knowledge, this option is not there. None of these options are there. I will know it as something. I will not know it as something. The other two options are not there. I will know this as pot. It's not an option, it's a fact, okay? It's really not an option. I will know this as something else. I will see this as pot. Option number one, can I say? No. I will see this as never a pot, not a pot. Aghataha, a pot, means not pot. Or what is option number three? I will see this as crystal. No, these options are not there at all. Now a pot, tomorrow pot, today pot, just now pot, before pot, later pot. Pot, 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 all the way. As I illustrated in the last class, you cannot but see if the means of knowledge are there and the object of knowledge is in sight. You cannot but see. There is no choice in seeing. There is no choice in hearing. That's why you hear gossip, even though you don't want to. Two people are saying something and you hear it, you don't want to, but you hear it. You see things you don't want to. And sometimes you go through the vegetable market and you pick up smells of rotten vegetables that have been thrown on the other side, even though you don't want to pick up the rotten vegetable smell. That means the means of knowledge and the sense, in this case, the sense organs, are helplessly revealing the objects of knowledge. Now let's take this to Vedanta. In Vedanta, what is the object of the knowledge? The subject, I. The subject itself is the subject matter to be known. So the I has to be known how? Exactly as it is. Here also there is no choice. Today I'll see myself as unloving and sad and tired and bored. Tomorrow I'll see myself as loving and wonderful. Is that choice there? No. What Vedanta reveals is the I as free of doership, free of being done in by other people's doings, omissions, and commissions. Totally free. Whole, non wanting, non demanding, objective, contented, appreciative being. You cannot say, I disagree. If you disagree with the fact that you are whole, you will only look bad. Because if you're not whole, what are you? I'm half. What a kind of a self diagnosis and self definition to have. You can't afford to do that. You can't afford to say you are half. You are whole. That's all there is. It's a fact. It is a revelation. But then why do I have such a hard time accepting it? Because it runs contrary to a shared collective experience of misery. That's why. Everybody, I look around, everybody is scrambling, everybody is insecure. I look here, I look there, everybody is upset. I'm also upset. Then I look further, they are also angry, I'm also angry. Then I say, okay, this is our shared experience. I identify with the experiencer. If Atma is not Karta, Atma is also not Bhokta, the experience. But I forget that. I first I identify as the Karta. I keep doing so that I can get Priya and keep Apriya at bay. And then when it comes to taking the results of action, I immediately morph into Bhokta. Karta, Bhokta, Karta, Bhokta, Karta, Bhokta, in between Pramata, nowhere. That's all. This seems to be the gamut of my life, and it's a crazy making, miserable, strife ridden, conflict filled life I want out now. This is the thing. And then Vedanta says, the Shastras say, the Upanishads shout, you are free of kartritvam, you are free of bhoktritvam, neither karta nor bhokta you are. But I have hands, I'm supposed to do something. It seems contrary to the everyday experience. But things that are experienced every day are always contrary to the truth. You say, what a lovely sunset. Is it a sunset? No. Sun is not setting. You heard this in class 4. When you were 8 years, 9 years old, you studied this. Sun neither rises nor sets. But still, you say, what a wonderful sunset. Just because you, the pencil, which is inside a glass of water, appears bent. Is it really bent? No. Similarly, if you think of yourself as bent out of shape, you really are not. We can't go by experience. It is not a teacher. Experience needs a teacher. It is not itself a teacher. It needs somebody to unpack that and show that what is going on. Show what is going on. So we cannot rely on experience. We rely on the pramana, not eyes, ears, etc. They are themselves finite and tuned to the cataloging of things, other things that are finite. The eyes, the ears cannot catalog, categorize, identify the infinite because they themselves are not infinite, and B, because the infinite is not an object, it is the truth of my own nature. So the pramana called Vedanta shows the way. It is like a second pair of eyes which help me to quote unquote see the truth of myself as free of longing, free of being needy, free of being demanding. See myself as a commodious, accommodative, appreciative, contented person. This is what Vedanta does. Vastutantram jnanam. The jnanam is as good as the object. In this case, the object being the subject. The knowledge of the subject is as true as the subject, which is revealed by Vedanta. And this I have to understand. So, this is the second virodha, which is shown the incompatibility between karma and jnanam. Karma is based on will. Jnanam, there is no will that is operating even in the perception of daily empirical things. What to talk about the I, which is Paramarthika, which is absolute. More we'll see tomorrow, bright and early, 7 o'clock. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ